Bit of a dreary day here in Connecticut. It's early evening, and I was going to try to get out for a ride. We just did some decorating. It's the day before Thanksgiving here in New England, and so instead of a ride, let the trails dry out, I'm going to do some maintenance. Deferred maintenance up till today. So a couple of things. My last trip out to Thunder Mountain, I busted up my Ibis carbon wheel, just busted up a couple of spokes. That was on a run of Billy Badger. You can catch that in a previous previous video on the channel. It's a long one too. It's like almost a 50-minute video that I did for the trainer. And anyway, busted a wheel. Just got that fixed. Just got that back. And I've got some new sealant I'm trying out. I got some good recommendations for it. This is from Trucker Co. I've been using their brake pad for a long time now, probably 3 years, and they're economically priced and really good. And probably the best part is I can get them in semi-metallic. And I think the DH ones are metallic. I might be getting them confused, but really great price for a really great product. And I'm expecting that the sealant is gonna come together and do its job this winter. This coming winter, and I also use Orange Seal, the Sub-Zero stuff on my fat bike, and I've been using that in my trail bikes for around here for winter riding as well, and it's held up just fine. So that's the Evil. That's what I'll be doing there. It's nice and cleaned up. I was just the wheels are off. I was just going through it, and everything else looks tip top. So that guy's in good shape. This one here, the Yeti suffered a little bit of a drivetrain failure. That actually ended my day at Thunder because I was riding that. I broke a spoke, 2 spokes, and then switched to this, and ended up with apparently not an uncommon failure, but the pulley wheel. Let's see if I can find it. Split. So the lower pulley split. See that? That can come out. Let me see if I can get some light on there. And there's that little chunk taken out of it. And it basically it caused the the cage to just blow up. I've had a similar failure that caused the cage to wrap around, catching my spokes, and I suffered much worse damage than just losing this. But apparently, if you go on, you can find it on Amazon and other places. You can find replacement kits. It's about $60, maybe a little bit less, for 2 pulley wheels and the rear cage and the bolts that hold the pulleys and the inner and outer cage together with the pulleys in between. So that piece is coming. It's a warranted item. SRAM has been very good to me on these kinds of things, but really the word on SRAM is they're quite good respecting warranty claims. So that's a good one. So what I think I may do, because I'll ride this bike over the weekend, the holiday weekend, is I might cannibalize the lower cage from the outer cage from this guy. And this is my Chromag hardtail, fine bike. Everything works fine. Maybe I'll just take this out. Don't fuss around too much. Don't tempt fate. So maybe, I could clean up the upper and lower wheels, pulley wheels, jockey wheels, whatever you call them, in the outer cage, and then just run that. The other piece of fix I'm going to do here is this is all chewed up. This is the 3M mastic tape, basically a passive chain guide, and this came on the bike from Chromag when I bought it a year ago, nearly, and it's just chewed up. It's chewed up because I lock my bike up to my rack, and the chain, when I end up putting it through the wheel, the chain sits on here, and it just dimples this up. So just give that a bit of a refresh. This guy's running strong, no complaints here, but I will be, not this weekend, but soon, I will be swapping out the Lyric fork for a Fox 36 29 275 plus It's the RC2 model. It's the one that came off my Evil when I switched to the 170 orange fork. And I'm putting a ramp control cartridge on that. That'll probably be a different video, but I will swap this out. This is a 130-160 Lyric RC, and I mean, nothing wrong with it other than I don't run it at 130 ever, and I really like the high-speed compression adjustability that I've got on the Fox fork. So what started as a maintenance update is turning into just an overview of what's going to be happening with the life of some of these bikes. So there's that. Back to the Yeti real quick. It turns out that I'm not. I need a stiffer spring. One more stiffer. So this is, I think, a 500 and. What to think about it here? It's a 571. I think this is a 571 spring that I'm running on here. I actually need the 605. So I got that a couple of days ago, and I'll just be installing this guy in place, and life goes on. Interestingly, on the fork side of things, the spring rate there is good. I do have a spare spring. Right now, I do have a spare spring, in here to use. But when I took the Yeti to the bike park and was doing the jump trails, and then flipped over and did some, little bit of chunky stuff, it looks like the spring rate I've got right now, I think it's a 65-pound spring on the fork, is doing just fine. So that takes care of this. So it'll be the, fix up the rear derailleur and take care of a spring swap on this guy, and that's going to be pretty. That's going to be pretty simple. I'll be turning my attention to the Farley EX 9.8. That's this guy hanging from the wall, and this guy hasn't seen any action since probably March of this year, with the exception of one ride at Crescent Lake, which I'll link in the description, where I jumped it across a pretty big gap, biggest gap that we've got in the area trail-wise. Short of going to, biggest gap that I've done on any of the trails in our area. So I'm going to get into this. I'm going to check the sealant, get this thing winter ready, and just make sure she's sorted out. And then finally, thinking about what to do here. This is my 5010 with the Float X2, a rear shock. Awesome bike. Has delivered me many great rides. It's got the original saddle. Saddle is showing its wear. Where I'm kind of disappointed, I seem to be outrunning this fork. This is the DVO Diamond 275. It's set up at 140. So this is just as a reminder, I've got this on a bike check as well on my channel. So 140 fork mated to a first gen Santa Cruz Solo, or 5010, excuse me, with offset bushings, which basically bring the head angle somewhere in the 66.6, 66.7 degree area, lowers the bottom bracket even a little bit more, and still an amazing and capable trail bike for 100% of the trails that I ride, and even the bike parks that I ride. Short of maybe Mountain Creek. So what seems to be happening is I'm not getting what I need out of the fork. I've had this fork for quite a while. I'm fairly capable around suspension. I'm not a suspension tuning expert by any stretch. Don't profess to be. I seek to understand my own equipment and how the adjustments affect me and only me. I enjoy trying to help other people, my buddies out on the trails, and it's been met with some success. And I just say, I've been running this fork, through the paces for a long time, and just feel like there are better options out there now, several years on, maybe 3 years on now. And I'm thinking a coil for this bike. might be in my future, like the King Creek Helm coil or the MRP ribbon. However, the ribbon, as I understand it, isn't available in the 275-140 unless maybe you get it custom done. So I'll have to look into that. So I think that kind of wraps things up here. Got work to do, a little bit of work to do on 2 bikes for sure, plus winter prepping the fat bike. So with that, I think I'll just bail and get to work, and I'll see you guys in another video. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later.